What do you recognize this company for? Probably Sonic, right? While it is true that Sonic is one of Sega's most popular IPs out there, it should be known that they do have many other franchises as well. While it's not as big as Sonic, one of the other well-known ones owned by Sega would be Super Monkey Ball is a series that's well known by most people, I'd say. Obviously it's not as big as the Blue Rat over there, but it's big enough to the point where it has a dedicated following of some sort. For the first game in particular, it was actually originally released in arcades before being ported to the GameCube. This game was also directed by the person who later went on to become the general director for the Yakuza series. Anyways, Monkey Ball is a franchise I've always known of, but I never really got into. I mean, I did play Monkey Ball Adventure when I was in the single digits.
As your therapist, I am begging you to seek better games.
Alright, fine. So it's finally time for me to experience what this series can really be. Better late than never, I suppose. Since there's literally no story aside from whatever the hell the intro is trying to tell, let's just dive straight into the meat of the game. Monkey Ball is a very simple concept as expected from an arcade game. You're a monkey in a ball and you're basically trying to get to the end and while collecting dole bananas. You have to go with the time limit and you ascend to the heavens.
How are you heaven if you have this many sins?
Oh, I completed a stage of Super Monkey Ball. While it sounds easy, it really isn't. Sure, all you can do is just move around, but that doesn't make the game a total cakewalk. The first few stages are pretty simple, but the more you progress, the harder it gets to stay on the damn map. But it's kind of the appeal of Monkey Ball's gameplay, if you ask me. These stages are designed for you to constantly replay them and learn from your mistakes. Take the final stage of the beginner quest for example. For an experienced player who's clearly played this game many times, they would be able to get to this tightrope section with ease. And that's not even talking about how the speedrunners would do it. As for someone like me though, who's completely new to the game, it doesn't help that I have just very shaky hands in general, and I was playing a Wii U Pro controller. Which, by the way, please disagree this game with a controller that has like notches. You will suffer if you try playing this game with a modern controller, trust me. Anyways, the way Monkey Ball's main mode work is that you're divided into 3 courses: beginner, advanced, and expert. Each of them sporting 10, 30, and 50 stages respectively. The goal is to basically beat all these courses without wasting all your lives or continuing. Though, if you manage to beat a whole course without using a continue, you get to access extra stages. These stages are way harder than what you see in the courses, and given you have to not use any continues to even access them, yeah, I never really got to even try these stages. I will say though, some of these stages are fucking bizarre. There's one in particular where you have to beat all 50 floors in expert without a continue, and then some even more hard stages before it. And for all that effort, you get to play a single stage with a goddamn Dole logo as its layout. Great. Speaking of it, every 5 stages during a course, you get to play a bonus round. The goal here is to quite literally just to collect all the bananas before the time limit runs out, so you can just fall off if you want to skip it. But look at all these Dole bananas, baby! This game does a really good job of making me crave bananas. But okay, that's it for the single player stuff. Is there any more to do in this game? So when you finish a course, you get these play points which can not be used for continues, but can also unlock mini games for multiplayer fun. Party games on the other hand don't require any grinding to be unlocked, so you can play them from the get-go. There's 3 of these party games: Monkey Race, Monkey Fight, and Monkey Target. Monkey Race is the worst one out of the bunch. It's basically just racing at blazing speeds, being the first one to complete the most laps. The problem with this mode is that you're just way too fast. I thought playing the courses was hard enough as is, but Monkey Race, you might as well just set my ball on fire at that point. It doesn't help that there's no drift of sorts either, so in the later courses you'll probably find yourself falling out a lot if you aren't experienced. It can be fun in the first couple of courses, but that's because they're literally just laps around a circle. And there are items, but the gameplay here is not good as is, so these items just make everything more annoying to me. Definitely the party game I see myself coming back to the least, if at all even. Monkey Fight on the other hand is a much needed change from Monkey Race. This mode basically gives everyone boxing gloves, and the goal is to basically get the most points before time runs out, by knocking people off the map. It's a very chaotic mode, and it helps that the game is fun enough to the point where the items actually add to the chaos. Not balanced in the slightest, but at least I'm having a blast this time around. It helps that there's multiple maps to keep things interesting. I do like this one, but it doesn't compare to the next one, Monkey Target. Monkey Target is the best one out of the bunch to me, if you already couldn't tell. It's a very simple concept, basically just roll down a ramp and then bust out a parachute, then close it correctly to land on the target. Depending on how well you time it, you can either get 10 points or even up to 200. The one who gets the most points within the number of rounds set wins. There's multiple targets throughout the map, so go for the one you feel you can make. This mode is really fun, and it's even more fun when you have another person with you, though I personally would disable the wheel in the options menu before playing this mode. This wheel basically starts before a player's turn, and it causes hazards to spawn to your targets, which can really mess up your score. If you're lucky enough, you could land on an empty spot and continue normally. If you're lucky or skilled enough, you could use the bombs to do some sick tech and end up scoring more points as a result, but that's not gonna happen unless you just pull off a fluke or something, I don't know. Anyways, I'm a big fan of these party games. I might not like Monkey Race, but the others are good to the point where I can see myself coming back to this mode, especially with friends. But there's still more multiplayer goodness to go over. Yep, there's also the mini games. What separates these from the party games, however, is that you actually have to grind for them via pay points, as mentioned before. However, we'll enter to game facts later and we're ready to play them. You can also play these alone in their dedicated single player modes, but it'll make you feel even more of a loser than playing the party games alone, so it's best you get someone to play these with you. Anyways, with the power of emulation, I was able to get someone to play these games with me, so I can actually go over them. There's 3 mini games to choose from: Monkey Billiards, Monkey Bowling, and Monkey Golf. Monkey Billiards is literally just billiards. You have to shoot the number of balls in order, basically, trying to get the most points before all the balls are made in. However, you don't have to necessarily go in order to score the balls, because as long as you just hit the lowest number one, you'll be fine. Failing to do so results in a foul, and your opponent basically gets the advantage of placing the cue ball wherever they want. This gives you the chance to score some higher numbers, whether it be on purpose or by pure accident. Though since this game plays by Japan's rules, once the 8 ball is made, a 9 ball will appear and it becomes a race of whoever can put it in first, becoming basically the deciding factor of the game, more often than not. But overall, a nice mini game. Then we have Monkey Bowling. This one is also literally just bowling, but with a couple twists. To decide where you throw the ball, you'd basically have to time it correctly with this insanely fast pat, which more often than not results in falling off. However, if you somehow time it not too far away, you can use the triggers to adjust your spin, ensuring you get at least a single pin. You can also adjust how much spin you want, which is something I wish I knew beforehand. But again, better late than never. If you're playing this with input lag though, have fun. Once again, a pretty solid mini game. Finally, there's Monkey Golf. Again, do I have to explain this? It plays as every golf game does. Make it to the hole as little strokes as you can. What sets this one apart though is that you get the wonderful image of seeing the monkeys use a golf club to whack themselves to the hole. Truly an amazing sight to behold. But otherwise, not much to really say about this one either other than its golf. You can adjust your proper distance of your club, something I clearly did not know, but it's what you expect otherwise. Though rather than playing off the holes, it's a race to reach 5 wins. But yeah, another solid minigame as well. I would highly recommend playing these along with the party games if you have friends over. Just avoid Monkey Race, will ya? Graphically, Super Monkey Ball is alright. It's nothing mind-blowing, but it's a decent looking game, all things considered. I like the designs of the monkeys, big fan of some of the environments going on with the stages as well, but my favorite part about this game's presentation would be the goddamn facial expressions or the minigame results. Those are definitely faces you would see in the school yearbook. Another stand about this game's presentation would be the absolutely shameless Dole branding present throughout the game. It's on every banana, it's on the goddamn floor in Monkey Target, there is no escaping this brand. While it is absolutely shameless, it's also one of those product placements that is just so absurd that I can't help but laugh at it. Definitely something that grows on you the more you play this game. Just don't be surprised if someone starts questioning the sheer abundance of Dole in this game. Music wise, this game has that 2000 Sega soundtrack feel that I absolutely love. There's the more calming tracks that make for great background music. And then there's the tracks that go nuts during the courses. It's not one of my favorite soundtracks, but it's a good one for sure. In all, Monkey Ball is a very simple, arcadey game, but that doesn't make it a lesser game. It might not have a feel of a true console game, but it's a simple game to the point where I can just pick up and play it whenever I want. It helps that there's a ton of replay value to this game, and I come back to this game just to see how much I can improve the way I play certain courses. After finally dipping my toes into this series, I am curious to see what the other titles have to offer. Okay, maybe not all of them.